Hi everyone, this is the second tutorial of the series of videos in which we will learn how to draw our cylinder in two-point perspective. In this video we will learn how to draw its cast shadow, and then we will color it with some graphite pencils. As I said in the previous one, we have drawn a rather rough kind of cylinder. It is not very accurate because it's a very simplified method of drawing it, but it's quite easy, so it's a good way to start learning a bit about two-point perspective and how to draw the cylinder. So we have to first of all draw the light source, and it will be in our case 2 centimeters to the left of the vanishing point 2. We will draw a vertical line, and our light source will be as high as we can draw it in the upper edge of our sheet of paper. This is the light vanishing point, as you know. So the first thing we have to do now is to draw some lines from the light vanishing point to the contour of our cylinder, and to the center of the lower base of our cylinder. All right. We'll have some tangent points here and here, which will mark the vertical generatrix of our cylinder, where the separation of the light area and the shaded area is. When we have a light source in a cylinder, there's a part of the cylinder from which we start seeing its core shadow. You see, to the right, about this point here, we start seeing this kind of gradient of grays, right? These are the vertical lines we have to draw. We will also mark the vertical line that goes from the points that we have found in our lower ellipse when we have drawn a line from the light source, from the light vanishing point to the center of a lower base. This point here, from which we will draw a vertical line, and this other one here, right? This gives us these other 2 points in the upper base of our cylinder. So we will have now to draw some lines from the light source, some light rays that will have to cross the points we have just marked in the upper base of our cylinder. When we have drawn the vertical lines, we have marked some points in the upper base, and that's the ones we have to cross now with some light rays, and that will end up in the lines we have drawn before from the light vanishing point. So for instance, this one here at the back of our cylinder will get this line here. This one will meet the same line. Alright, that gives us 4 points in these 3 lines. This will be the auxiliary points we will use in order to draw another deformed ellipse that will be part of our cast shadow. So we're going to draw some auxiliary lines to help us to draw it. That will first of all go from these 2 points to each other, and from the other points we have found to the vanishing point 1. As I said, our ellipse is inside this deformed rectangle. So we'll start drawing it as we did before. And that's it. Our cast shadow will be made by this line here, this straight line here. Then it will continue with this part of the ellipse, and we'll return to our cylinder with this straight line. Let's erase the drawing, the lines we don't need, in order to have a cleaner drawing, okay? As you see, I have erased too many parts of our drawing, so I will have to retrace them. There's a trick you can do in order to be more accurate while erasing your drawing. If you have a blade, you can slice a bit of your rubber, so you will have a cleaner edge, and this will help you to erase with a bit more of precision. We will draw now our value scale, and as you remember, in the polyhedrons we had a value scale divided in several rectangles in which we drew with different shades of gray as we had a lighter or darker area in our drawing. That's because we had some flat faces in our polyhedrons, and the cast shadow, well, it had some gradient in its intensity, but with the cylinder, a part of the upper base we are seeing in our drawing, the other part of the cylinder is a curved surface. That means that the variation in the intensity of the shadow is constant. I mean, it's soft. We don't have a line that divides the lighter part of the cylinder and the darker part. That's why we will draw a value scale like this. It will be 9 centimeters long and about 2 centimeters high, and the color will have to smoothly go from the lighter color to the darker color, okay? That's it. So for the lighter color, we will try to use an HB or B pencil over this part over here of our value scale, and a 2B graphite pencil for this darker area. If you just have an HB graphite pencil, it's fine. You will have to apply very soft pressure in this part of the scale, and then increase little by little the pressure towards the right edge of our value scale, okay? As you know, these shades of gray will be used for the core shadow, and the dark shades will be for the cast shadow. There's something in the cylinder which is quite interesting, is that the opposite areas to the light source are the darkest ones, but here in this edge of a cylinder we have some lighter color. This is because this is some reflected light. This surface is also reflecting some light towards our cylinder, and that's the reason for this area to be lighter. You see, all surfaces produce some reflection on other objects. The color is not, the light is not completely homogeneous. All of it doesn't come from the light source. Some of it will come because it bounces in a surface and returns towards other objects. Let's start with the HB or B pencil. We will start using now the 2B graphite pencil. Now you'll just have to apply these colors to our cylinder and its cast shadow. I have erased a bit the generatrix that marked the lighter area, the separation between the lighter area and the darker area in our cylinder, because it has to be just a reference for you to start drawing the core shadow, but it shouldn't be visible. As you see here, the line isn't visible, but it marks the starting point for you to start coloring the cylinder. Let's start with the B pencil or HB. Now we will start using the 2B pencil. So that's it. You have your cylinder already drawn with its core and cast shadow. And if you want, you can try with other points of view. For instance, in this case, if you look at it, we're looking at the cylinder from below, so we don't see its upper base. In the other drawing, we had our cylinder like this, more or less, and now our point of view is a bit lower, and we don't see its upper base. This is because the auxiliary prism we used had its front vertical edge above the horizontal line. It was 2 centimeters above the horizontal line and 4 centimeters down the horizontal line, as you see here. We have also changed the position of the light source, so it's to the left of the cylinder, and it projects its cast shadow to the right of our drawing. It is also a bit longer cast shadow, and in this other case we have done something a bit different. We have placed our light source, instead of on the horizontal line, we have brought it down the horizontal line, so it's throwing its light in this direction. It's something like this, you see? So we have the cylinder and its cast shadow goes upwards. The cast shadow looks a bit odd, as you see here. It's very deformed because we're doing all this by eye. We're not sure if the square base of our auxiliary prism is actually square, or if it's a bit deformed. Okay, but it's just about trying and experimenting a bit with the different positions you can give the vanishing points, the principal point, and so have fun. Try some different examples and try to learn the process. That's all. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.